Hello everyone. Do you want to be more successful or rich or productive? Then you need to read Robin Sharma's famous book The 5 A.M Club. In today's video, I'm gonna tell you about how this book is, my mini review of this book, and some of the greatest takeaways that I've had from this masterpiece. If I have to tell you about this book in a nutshell, it is a brilliant book. But the real lessons of his work actually begin after this book is halfway through. So you can actually skip the first half if you want to save your time. What's the secret to becoming a billionaire? There must be one, because if we all knew how to get there, surely everybody would have $1 billion by now. But the truth is that there is no singular secret to success. Everyone uses different methods on the road to achieving their dreams. And in the case of one very successful billionaire, that secret was starting his day at 5 a.m. He was so confident in this method that he attributed all his success to that one simple practice instead of his natural business acumen or the hours he'd invested in his company. And fortunately for you, it's not a secret. Through the course of this summary, we'll learn how to join what he called the 5 a.m. Club and why it can revolutionize your life. We'll even take a look at some interesting facts like why slowing down your brain is so important, why early mornings are key for jump-starting your day, and what a successful morning routine looks like. Robin Sharma's fiction starts with an entrepreneur who feels her life lacks purpose and a frustrated artist who's trying to spark his creativity. And last but not least, their billionaire mentor, a wacky character with some unconventional success secrets to share, Mr. Riley. In the book, the billionaire invites the two to his amazing private island and gives the best life lessons to them. Starting from the importance of waking up at 5 a.m. to the importance of quality sleep. The first lesson from the book is: wake up an hour before the rest of the world. The artist and the entrepreneur weren't used to getting up that early in the morning, and they listened blearily as their new mentor told them that getting up at 5 a.m. had taught them to break free of the mediocrity that so easily ensnares people. He also informed them that rising at this hour had enabled several successful people to revolutionize their productivity and rise to the top of their game, including such notable greats as Mozart and John Grisham. Here's why it works. We all have a limited amount of mental energy for each day. Think of it as your cognitive bandwidth. That limited bandwidth gets occupied by a variety of conflicting sources throughout the day. From the moment you wake up, everything from your job and your relationships to the news and social media is demanding your attention. These constant demands leave us feeling pressure to multitask, ping-ponging our attention back and forth from one thing to another so that our ability to focus on one consistent thing is severely weakened. But by lunchtime, we've already been inundated with so many demands that our ability to focus on anything is almost depleted. But starting your day at 5 a.m. effectively hotwires your brain so you can maximize your focus. That's all thanks to the concept of transient hypofrontality. This means that when you wake up at 5 a.m., your brain's prefrontal cortex, which processes rational thought, is temporarily impaired. So if, like me, you typically start your day being plagued by worries, doubts, and fears, one advantage of getting up at 5 a.m. is the ability to temporarily silence them. And as a bonus, during this time of day, your brain is pre-programmed to stimulate the production of dopamine and serotonin, both of which will make you happier and give you a more peaceful start to the day. So, when you minimize unproductive thoughts and negative self-talk and replace them with energy, peace, and productivity, it stands to reason that you'll enter a natural state of flow in which you're happier and more focused. And if you start your day with that kind of boost, there's no limit to what you can accomplish. But if that's not enough to convince you to forgo a few hours of sleep, you might also want to consider this. If you want to be at the top of your game and class yourself amongst the top 5% of the world's elite performers, you have to be willing to make commitments that the other 95% of the world aren't willing to make. And most people aren't willing to get up at 5 a.m. So, if you want a huge competitive advantage, this is a great way to get ahead. Second thing he mentioned: how to be a history maker. Some people accomplish things and then some people make history and become household names. The latter category is comprised of people who set records, break boundaries, and make contributions so significant that they are immortalized through their success. But what's the difference? And what determines the type of success you have? According to our billionaire mentor, a history maker is defined by their 4 areas of focus. The first is their ability to capitalize on their talents. This doesn't mean that they're the most talented people, but rather that they make the most of what they have. So, instead of comparing your gifts to someone else's and assuming you don't have what it takes, capitalize on the talents you do have and use them to make a difference. The second key area of focus is the ability to free yourself from distractions. This is especially vital because it's probably the number one problem that holds people back. And whether your distraction comes in the form of social media addiction or a toxic relationship that drains you of your energy, neither of these distractions can remain in your life if you want to be a winner. So, to cultivate a winning worldview, it's crucial that you focus, simplify, and concentrate. Start by eliminating multitasking from your life and become a purist instead, devoting your attention only to a few key projects instead of spreading yourself thin between loads of little tasks throughout the day. Cancel activities that don't add joy and value to your life. And most importantly, give yourself a distraction-free hour to jumpstart your day by joining the 5 a.m. Club. Thirdly, it's also important to understand the power of day stacking. Put simply, day stacking means that accomplishing a few small tasks each day is more important than doing a couple of big things once in a while. So, work on strengthening one small skill or ability a little bit at a time each day. The final key area of focus for history makers is practicing personal mastery. A person must invest 2.75 hours of daily practice in a skill before they reach the level of elite mastery. So, if you want to master yourself and truly become capable of orchestrating a successful future, invest the first 2 hours of each day in working deeply on yourself, your mindset, and your attitude. The next thing he explained: your 4 interior empires. You have frequently heard that you should work on your mindset. But the billionaire acknowledged that the mindset is only one of 4 interior empires which require constant attention and personal improvement. And although working on your mindset is great, if that's the only area you focus on, that means you're ignoring your heart set, health set, and soul set. Your heart set is exactly what it sounds like. It's the state of your emotional well-being. And because each of your 4 interior empires is connected, the strength and stability of your mindset don't matter if you consider that truth and the impact that emotional instability can have on your life, it follows naturally that when you develop your emotional well-being, you're laying the foundation for a healthier, more stable life across the board. Your health set is also important because, as you might imagine, you're pretty limited by what you can accomplish if you're in poor health. So, commit to your future success by taking care of yourself in the present and commit to boosting your health and productivity by pursuing exercise. And last but not least, it's crucial that you also focus on your soul set. Think of your soul set as your spirituality or what keeps you centered. By focusing on your soul set, you'll be able to connect with the truest version of yourself. Getting up at 5 a.m. can help with this too, because this early start will give you a window of clarity and opportunity that you can use to reflect on what you have to offer the world. The next lesson is the 20/20/20 formula. The billionaire's 20/20/20 method is the perfect way to optimize your productivity. Operating on the principle that you should use 20 minutes to move, 20 minutes to reflect, and 20 minutes to grow, this method taps into each of your So, first, start by engaging in 20 minutes of vigorous exercise. I know that's probably the last thing you want to do at 5 a.m. The good news is that if you can spring out of bed at 5 a.m., you'll sort of get a chance to catch your brain off guard before it's awake enough to remind you that you don't like exercising at 5 a.m. 20 minutes of active sweating can program your brain to think faster, which will enhance your productivity for the day. Once you've taken about 10 minutes to reflect, use the remaining 10 minutes to write your thoughts down in a journal. Document your ambitions, fears, frustrations, and the things you're grateful for in a journal. As you do so, envision yourself surrendering these stresses to the paper and removing their weight from your own heart and mind. After you're finished writing, use your remaining few minutes to meditate. Now it's time to use the last 20 minutes to learn. Whether you're listening to a podcast that stimulates thought, reading a biography, or learning something new about business, psychology, or innovation, you can tailor your learning experience to the interests that most benefit you and your career. The next lesson is embrace sleep. A good night's sleep is integral to achieving life-changing results with the 5 a.m. Club. Studies show that technology can be pinpointed as the primary source of our sleep deprivation, especially given that the blue lights produced by our phones and TVs, our favorite devices to look at before we go to sleep, reduce melatonin, which is precisely the chemical that promotes sleep. So, to cultivate healthy sleep patterns, leading sleep research advocates disconnecting from your tech devices no later than 8 p.m. Doing so will help you achieve a better quality of sleep and feel truly well rested by your 5 a.m. wake-up time. By intentionally dedicating your time to relaxation as well as work, you're recognizing the value of mental health and optimizing your potential. And as you make active efforts at self-care, you minimize the potential for burnout, thus giving yourself room to grow in both a performance phase and a recovery phase. Final verdict of the 5 a.m. Robin Sharma is a brilliant man. He provides a lot of value in all his work, and this book is not an exception. I personally improved a lot after following him and his lessons. The 5 a.m. Club is the best thing that I ever implemented in my life. That's for today. See you in the next video with another summary of another world-class book. Good night.